Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles! Resolve. In the last episode, we paid a visit to the forensics laboratory and talked to Dr. Gory, who is Dr. Scythe's daughter. And we had some very strange, dialogue with her, and we unraveled some more mysteries, but we are still in the dark about pretty much everything. And for some reason, I decided to go back to the crime scene, and we had a trunk here, a suitcase, which I investigated or examined, and all of a sudden Gina turned up, and now we're here with her. So let's try and converse with her for a little bit. So let's talk about her boss. You should hear them talking at the yard now. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're saying that it was the boss who killed all them bludgers. You mean the whole Reaper thing? Yeah. Apparently the boss was investigating stuff that no one else at the yard knew nothing about. Stuff to do with all them criminals what got off scot-free. Yes, the ones prosecuted by Lord von Zieks who used bribery and corruption to evade conviction. Well, then obviously, it was the bloomin' Reaper giving them the orders, weren't it? But why would people be suspecting Inspector Gregson of being involved in the killings? There was a notebook hidden in his office. Oh no, this doesn't sound good. It had details about all the crimes that have been pegged as the Reaper's work. What? No, did you see, Gina? Did you see that notebook? They wouldn't let me, cause I'm just an apprentice apparently. But it was me who found it, and it was my boss. That's right. I was pretty miffed about it, so I sneaked a peek at what it said anyway. Oh, that's odd, Gina. The secret notebook. So, you managed to see what was written in Gregson's secret notebook anyway, did you? Way I see it, it's more right to read what he wrote. And what did he write? What had he written, Gina? Dates, times, places, names, an all long list of them. All details about the bludgeons supposed to have been done in by the Reaper. But there could be an explanation for that. Perhaps it was a record for the inspector's investigations into the Reaper's activities. Exactly, that's what I said. That's the first thing you'll think, right? As it happens, it was full of names we recognized anyway. Well, the Reaper's targets were almost exclusively known leaders of London's criminal underworld. Well, yeah, but there was one name right at the end that was a bit odd. At the end of the list, you mean? I'm pretty sure the date against it was 31st October. Oh, the day before the inspector was found dead. So, what was the odd name? It wasn't like a name I've ever seen before. It was something like, no, it's no good. I can't remember it. I don't think it was an English name, put it that way. Oh dear, what a pity. There was something else too. I don't know if it matters, but the same name kept coming up over and over. Shin, it was. Don't suppose it means anything, but... Did you say Shin? What? It does mean something? Lord von Zieks knew the name too. He mentioned her as well. The woman who actually did the deeds. And now we find out her name appeared in Gregson's secret notebook? Okay, let's talk about the investigations then. We haven't seen you for a little while, have we, Gina? Well, of course not. I've been busy, ain't I? Investigating that. The lads at the yard are trying to trace the boss's movements the day before it happened. The day before? That would be the undercover investigation into the Red-Headed League, then. Only the boss didn't go, did he? You find some cove what was pretending to be him, didn't you, Odo? Yes, it was Mr. Vigil who actually went to the park on Lime Street that day, posing as Gregson. Well, anyway, you ain't the only one turning stuff up. I've got my own ways of getting results. When me and my partner get together, there's nothing we can't track down. Oh, little Toby, he's such a faithful friend. So, have you tracked anything down then? What do you think, huh? Course we have. Can't tell you the police business in it. Anyway, the point is, if you ever need any help, you know who to turn to, right? Me and the hellhound here. Right, because he looks oh so hellish, honest. The hellhound. Okay, let's talk about the hellhound. Gina, about your hellhound there. Chief Inspector Toby, you mean? He's the pride of the force, he is. In Japanese, police dog means something quite different and not altogether nice to those involved in crime. But here in Britain, it's a wonderful compliment, it seems, for a canine at least. It should be, after all, in the Great Exhibition case the other day, it was Toby here who managed to locate Reva's workshop. Maybe it's time for another demonstration of what this superdog can do, huh? Do we have something the Chief Inspector could catch the scent of, I wonder? That's a good question. Definitely not the paper. Although, no. Not the papers. Not this photograph. Maybe the identification. Well, Chief Inspector Toby, if you wouldn't mind having a sniff of this. He might be a little too keen, don't you think? The Chief Inspector made short work of Gina there. Oh, look at what he's gone to. Oh my, the trunk clearly still has a very strong scent of Inspector Gregson. In other words, it must have belonged to him. Oh, alright, it's a fair cop, I suppose. And you nearly got away with it too. You always talk so proudly of Chief Inspector Toby's nose and what it can achieve. Did it not cross your mind that he might identify something that was right next to us? Yeah, that was a bit of a bloomer, wasn't it? That's enough. That's enough then. Now then, Gina. I think it's time you told us the truth about that trunk. The metal trunk. It weren't like that. It just weren't. What are you talking about? I know it's going through that head of yours, but that ain't what happened. Alright then. What did happen? Well, like I said before, we were trying to trace the boss's movements. So let Toby here have a whiff of the boss's overcoat. And as soon as I'd done that, he went off like a shot. Straight to the sandwich. To a sandwich? Not to a bag of chips? Mr. Naruto, I believe Gina means the witness. Oh, I forgot about that sandwich. Yeah, he had it hidden between the wooden boards of his. The boss's trunk. You mean when they heard the sound like a gunshot all piled in here? Exactly. He nabbed it from the scene. Goodness. Me and the Chief Inspector gave the sandwich a good credit, and you know what he said?
I thought it might fetch a good price if the chap wouldn't be beaten into eating it anymore, sir. But that's all I did. Nothing more, nothing less.
Would you Adam and Eve the cheek of it, huh? Stealing the dead boss's stuff to flog. So Miss Venus wasn't the only one to meddle with the scene of the crime then. How could they? So anyway, that's how it happened. And it's a pretty decent trunk, so I figured I might as well make use of it. Is there something wrong with that, huh? Well, maybe you and Mr. Sandwich should try to find the answer to that question together. I think perhaps the trunk should be turned over to the police, don't you? What are you on about? I'm the police. Gina, if you wouldn't mind, could we maybe examine it? Yeah, alright then. Do what you want with it.
Thank you. We shall make a detailed record of our examination of the evidence.
Gregson's trunk has been entered into the court record. Inspector Gregson's metal traveling trunk that was removed from the scene but subsequently recovered by Gina. Ooh. What's the matter with Toby? Why is he acting so aggressively towards me all of a sudden?
Mr. Naruto, be careful. It must be the trunk.
Ooh. Toby, oi, what do I do? You're gonna lick his face off!
Mr. Naruto! Gina, quickly, hail a carriage!
What is going on? Okay, 2nd November, 4:57 p.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy.
Oh, Mr. Naruto, are you alright?
Miss Susato.
Ah, conscious again at last. A blessed relief, my dear fellow. After all, to drop dead after a moderate licking by a small terrier, most unseemly.
What is or isn't seemly is irrelevant here, Mr. Shams.
Oh, I butchered that sentence really hard. Sorry, guys.
I'm so glad there's no lasting damage. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, thank you. Did you bring me back here? Ah, what's this on my head? A bandage?
Sadly, we had no ice, so that's a compress of sugar water.
Sugar water?
Don't worry, Mr. Naruto. It's a first aid treatment that my father taught me.
Oh, thank you.
So let us take tea when you're feeling up to it. But of course, no sugar in the patient's cup.
Oh, the bump on my head is throbbing sweetly enough, though. Don't worry.
Whenever you feel ready then.
Alright, here we are again, so nothing to check out besides Mr. Shams, and we are going to talk to Mr. Shams for sure. So, let us converse with... okay, we can talk about what to...
Are you alright, Mr. Naruto? It's rather unusual to find ourselves here in the middle of our investigations.
It's just occurred to me that I might have forgotten something when we left this morning.
Please don't worry. As long as you continue to investigate thoroughly, you won't go far wrong.
Oh, yes, of course. I must get back to work as soon as possible. Okay, so we also have this, but we are going to talk to Mr. Shams, of course. Thank you for your concern, Mr. Shams.
My dear fellow, think nothing of it. I must say I was quite startled when I heard that you'd been attacked by a dog. For a moment I feared that the infamous murderer of so many had come back from the dead.
You mean the professor?
Fortunately, I see your prized throat is unscathed. That stiff, turned-up collar of yours obviously afforded some welcome protection.
Was I that close? Was I that close to death? All I really remember is the dog licking my face over and over and over again.
Well, if you wish to avoid such troubles in future, a little mustard spread on the cheeks should do the trick. I should think that that will balance the sweetness of your bandage rather splendidly.
Okay, good to know. But if that is the case, we are going straight back to the crime scene because we weren't done yet. Come on. Alright. Oh, okay, but nobody's here? What is that supposed to mean? Oh, come on, why? And there's no one here. Or is Gina... Yeah, there she is. Okay, we are going to talk to Gina, of course. Gina, I'm really sorry. It's daft, isn't it? If you asked me a year ago, the cops could go and for all I cared. But we've got to have a police, haven't we? To catch the bludgers. so us divers can go about our business in peace. Wait, sorry? I don't think I can have I can have heard that properly. He said he was gonna teach me everything I needed to know to be a detective. But all he got around to show me is where the best flaming fish and chip shops are. Actually, that reminds me. Gregson said he was supposed to be going to Paris in the near future, didn't he? Is something wrong?
Oh, no, I'm sure I'm reading too much into things. It's just that the timing seems very coincidental.
You know, the boss was acting a bit strange recently. Like he was always in a rush. Oh, we got an achievement for that. Best chips in town. Okay. So that was already something we did kind of do, right? Okay, we haven't... Oh, I almost forgot Gregson's trunk. So we're gonna have a look at that, of course. Okay, let's have a look at here first. Let's have a look inside. Alright, but that's not everything, because this is also very intriguing. Have you seen this huge gash across the side of the trunk here? It's gone right through the leather and into the metal behind.
Gosh, for a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged. Whatever made the gash must have struck the side of the trunk with considerable force.
I wonder how it happened. Anything else? Oh! Oh, okay. Look at this dark stain here, do you think?
Yes, I'm afraid so. I think it's blood.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that, so that presumably means...
that this was present at the scene when Inspector Gregson was killed. It's the most logical conclusion, yes.
To think Gina's been carrying this around with her. If you didn't know any better, I suppose it does look like a grease stain from all the fish and chips. Is there anything else that is worth checking out? No, it doesn't seem that way. But we have stuff in here. There's some bottles, but this is very important apparently. Look, there's something inside.
Oh, let's see. It appears to be a passport authorizing him to travel overseas.
Was Inspector Gregson about to go on a trip abroad then?
Perhaps the date of departure might tell us something. There was... Oh!
What is it?
It was for travel on 31st October, just one day before the incident.
What? Really? The passport has been entered into the court record. Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered. Okay. That is something. Okay, we have checked out everything about this then? Oh, but not this. Do you see that? There's something stuck in the side of the trunk here. It's glinting.
Looks like a fragment of metal of some sort. But it's wedged in so tightly I can't remove it.
Well, don't cut yourself. You better leave it, I think. Okay, so there is someone tried to open this. Anything here though? No. Okay. We're gonna have a look at the passport immediately, of course. Name Tobias Gregson, passport number ACD0522. Date of departure within 1 week from 31st October. Destination port of Dunkirk, France. Purpose of travel, police business. Notes, permission for the applicant and an additional person to travel. Oh, okay. We know he wanted to take Gina alongside him. Okay, we checked out everything here. Where are we supposed to go next, actually? I don't actually... Let me just think for a minute. I really have no idea where to go, guys. We were here already. There's no way that... Let's have a look at Kazuma. Because he's such a nice guy. He's not even here then. We could have a look at everything, but I don't think that does anything. What about the forensics laboratory? We can go there again if we wanted to, but there's nothing happening here. But wait a second. What about Iris? Iris just took off. I want to talk to her. 2nd November. Sholmes' Suite. Oops.
Mit dem Schwarzbiergebot brodelt Wien Feuerberg, den Schlund es mir
What is going on?
Ach, Hopfen deine Wut.
What on earth is going on in here? Am I having a bad dream?
Ah, no, it's an old German folk song. Rather a fine rendition, I think.
That's the least of my concerns.
Iris?
Iris? What's the matter?
Who is that sprawling, that relaxed gentleman over there?
That's your father! Iris, is she even listening?
Excuse me, sir. I do apologize for troubling you whilst you're singing so merrily, but would you be kind enough to explain the situation?
Well, that worked.
A crooning gentleman and a mute young girl. A rather tantalizing juxtaposition. And one that appears to have incited the gods of deduction within me to find their voices too.
Ah, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean?
The strains of reasoning within me are playing now as a delightful duet. One melody sings of a reunion full of nostalgia, whilst the other is a morose theme about the great secret you're trying desperately to conceal, Iris.
She's turned as white as a sheet.
So as usual, you've instantly seen to the very heart of the matter.
And by the time my own brief performance is over, I feel sure this gentleman's song will reach its finale. So then, to Musicland, where all is sweetness and delicacy and harmony.
Whoa, guys, okay. This is a short episode then, but we are about to do a dance of deduction. And those are taking quite some time, so I'm gonna call it quits for this episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Resolve. If you wanna see how we are going to dance, you'll have to tune in next time. See you then.